Okay, before anybody questions the authenticity of the gear used in this video, here I am in the mirror with the video camera. I'm going to walk over to the equipment used to record bass guitar and electric guitar in all my Studio B recordings, except for the one that doesn't have DI tracks, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. Alright, here we go. No cuts, no cuts. I got iris down. And of course my white balance probably changed by now, but okay, here we go. So we have the Mackie mixer. Nothing fancy, but good quality stuff now. Surprisingly, I was not the one who bought this originally. Again, Studio B is a consortium, a collective of my own gear and somebody else's. And the board was not my choice, but I will say I'm happy with the results, because I had heard bad things about Mackie, but they really made an improvement with VLZ3. So there's all the preamps. There we go, XDR2, and there goes the sun behind a cloud. So I got my, there we go, and there's the J48 direct box that was recommended to me in a few books, on several message board posts over the years. So there we go. There's the box for the J48. Great company, Radial, made in Canada, great gear. And now let's start the actual video. Someone had asked me about recording bass guitar with a line input versus a direct box on the I don't record bass guitar amps anymore video. And I promised him or her, I believe it was a him, that I would make a video about this and post some high resolution samples for everyone to download. Now, unfortunately right now, the RealHomeRecording.com domain is down. I need to renew it. Anyway, these recordings were all done over the course of, let's see, well, the first one was probably in 2008. You know, this one was 2008. And I did not have, or I had never heard of a direct box at this point. And I had previously recorded with a line input. Wasn't really happy with it, but again, I did not know what the heck a direct box was, and when I did find out about it, it was a little late in the recording, so we pretty much just said, F it. But for the next album that was recorded, which is this one, we did have a direct box. It was put as a priority because of the discovery of a plugin called Amplitude, or Amplitube, where you could record any electric guitar or whatever, and it would sound pretty good. I know you guys are familiar with Amplitube. I've shown it a few times if you've seen other videos, and it's gotten really good over the years. I'm pretty darn impressed with it. Even back then, it was better than what we had, which was a Line 6 Pod XT, and really the ability to have a bunch of different guitar tones that we normally don't have access to was really a huge boon for the album. So here we go with the direct bass for the Mackie line input. This is an American Fender jazz bass, and the guy who's playing this, his name's Matt. He's also playing on this track right here. So let's just play it, and I'll shut up. I've said this before, bass guitar isn't really that bad for using as a line input, especially if you use a bass amp simulator program, because you can EQ in some brightness. But you'll notice a tone quality difference, and again, this is just the dry tracks, no effects applied, straight from the guitar, going into the direct box, going to the mixer's line input. And then I'm sorry, for the direct box one, it's going into the XLR input, but for this, it's the line input. Nothing in between, just straight guitar. Plenty of low end, we can pretty much hear most of the notes, but it's a little flat sounding. You can even see, I'm not sure if that's the way the song was played, but if you compare the track here, which had the DI box, versus this one, there's a lot more, I don't know if the right word is articulation or really just dynamics. You can see a lot more dynamics in this track, and it's not as squished. You see how it's a lot, there's a lot of different bumps and hills, and then this one is just almost flat looking. Even if I expand it some more, it's still just not as dynamic as the other one. And again, that could just be the playing style, who knows. But let's again compare this. This is the direct box. It sounds clearer, and we can hear actual strings being plucked because of that clarity. Again, here we go, back and forth. Not a drastic difference. I mean, really, again, you could probably get away with recording with the line input, but again, this particular guitar is pretty high quality. It's like I think 14 or 1600 hour guitar. So if you're using a cheaper bass guitar, the impedance might not be as good. You're kind of having a gamble, as opposed to if you have a direct box, it converts that signal a little bit better. So, and I'm going to show you some examples of a cheaper guitar. I'm not really sure how much this guitar cost. I don't even remember the brand name. I might be able to see it in the video, that if I can dig it up. But this is the same guitar, two different players. I don't have a video to show you for this guy, but this was made for a future video, premium content video, and we used the Mogami cable into the same Radial J48 direct box as this track right here, with a bright yellow guitar, bright yellow punk rock guitar. Considering this was the first time the musician had played bass guitar, I thought he sounded pretty darn good. And here's the same exact setup, except for the tone knobs are probably changed, and I definitely did not use the Mogami cable because I didn't own it at the time. Also, the recording that right now, I had the cursor over the bass player who lent us the guitar, said that it had recently been restringed. The battery in it was pretty new, and you know, when we recorded the other track, I'm not sure how everything was with a guitar. It could have old strings. The battery could have been dying. The tone knob might have been changed, or the notes he's playing aren't as full sounding. Whatever it may be, there's so many variables in this, but it's interesting to hear how, I hate using the word warm, but the one to the left with the Mogami cable sounds warmer, and it just sounds different. Of course, it's a different style of song, but I do wonder how much that Mogami cable affected the quality. I'm really looking forward, sometime in October, I'm going to be recording some guitar tracks, bass guitar and regular electric guitar, and hopefully I'll have a shootout. I remember to do a shootout. We're recording some music, some custom music for a TV show, and I hope to do a shootout video between your typical music store guitar cable versus the Mogami cable versus the George L cable, and maybe I don't know, maybe the guitar player happens to have a monster cable. I know a lot of them do. So hopefully maybe we can do a shootout between all of them. So this has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com. Again, the tracks are available for download. As soon as I get my domain name back up, I'll be putting links in the video description. Most of these were recorded, actually all of them were recorded at least at 88.2 kilohertz, all 24-bit depth.